What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the number 4 class in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ryan Day put together another great recruiting class like he usually does. Geographically, this recruiting class is interesting. They landed 6 guys in the state of Ohio, kept them in state, but they branched out to a lot of other states. They got 3 guys from Florida, 2 guys from Georgia, 2 guys from Texas, and then they got a guy from Arizona, California, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Tennessee, Utah, and Wisconsin. It's really telling how phenomenal Ohio State's football program is that they're able to branch out to that many states and get that much talent to come into the state of Ohio and play for the Buckeyes. With that being said, starting at the quarterback position, we have Devin Brown coming in from Utah. He's the number 6 quarterback in the nation. This guy has pretty decent size to him. He can really sling the ball well. You expect him to compete for the starting job once CJ Stroud goes to the draft. Ohio State never really has a quarterback issue. With Devin Brown coming in, I don't expect them to have a quarterback issue. I think he's going to fit in really well with the scheme, and I think he's going to succeed very well at Ohio State. At the running back position, Ohio State was only able to pull off 1 running back in the class in Dalen Hayden from Tennessee. This guy's going to be very good. He's going to get playing time at some point. You obviously expect TreVeyon Henderson to be the main guy this year. He may not get a ton of carries his first year, but he's going to be one of those guys who's really going to show up later on. There's no need to panic if you're an Ohio State fan that you only got 1 running back in this class. Ohio State has plenty of running back talent on their roster. They're going to continue to have talent on their roster, and Hayden is going to be a contributor at some point. And now we're going to transition to the wide receiver position. And if you're a top wide receiver prospect in the country, you have to at least take a look at Ohio State and what Brian Hartline has done with his receivers, because that receiver room always plays at the highest level. Brian Hartline, to me, is the best wide receivers coach in the country. I definitely think he's going to be an offensive coordinator at some point. But just looking at this group of talented receivers that they have, Ohio State is going to continue to pump receivers into the NFL. I don't expect that to change with this class coming in. They have a great group of talented guys coming in here. Caleb Burton is somebody I'm really high on. I think he's going to have a great career at Ohio State. If I had to pick one of these guys, it would be Caleb Burton to absolutely just tear it up at Ohio State. But regardless, any of these guys on this list right here, I think they're going to have a great career. I think all of them are going to be contributors at some point. But Ohio State, their passing game, their receivers, they're going to continue to be elite. And now going to the big men up front on the offensive side of the ball. You have a group of 4 stars there, 3 of them, and then you have a 3-star coming in. And one thing you notice is that Ohio State will not lack size up front on the offensive side of the ball. You got 6'5", 6'4", 6'6", and another 6'6" guy coming in. Ohio State's a school that you know they're going to dominate up front in every football game they play in. The only game in recent memory they didn't really do that was the Michigan game this past year, but Michigan was so talented up front. But regardless of that one game, Ohio State has dominated up front, and they will continue to dominate up front with these 4 guys coming in. And now going to the defensive line. This defensive line class is very strong. They got a really good defensive line class here. One name I'm very high on is Amari Abor. That's been a very popular name on the recruiting trail this past year. A lot of teams were going after him. A lot of schools were going after him. I think he could easily be a day 1 contributor. And this unit right here under the new defensive coordinator in Jim Knowles. And this group, I think they can definitely contribute in their first year. They have a lot of size, they have a lot of talent, and if they put it to the right use, Ohio State's going to be a dangerous team up front. Now going to the linebacker position, you got CJ Hicks and Gabe Powers, 2 in-state talents. CJ Hicks, the number 1 linebacker in the country, and Gabe Powers, the number 8 linebacker in the country, both coming to Ohio State. Like I said, in this Jim Knowles defense, they're both going to be big contributors. CJ Hicks could very well be a day 1 contributor. And it's going to be interesting to see how they're used. You look at what Jim Knowles did at Oklahoma State. He was able to turn a bunch of 3-stars into a very elite defense. With this kind of talent, with these 2 linebackers, I can't imagine the ceiling for this defense. I mean, it's got to be way up there. Now going to the defensive back position, obviously one name that sticks out right away is Sonny Styles, the #1 safety in the class, 6'4" and 215. He's getting a lot of Kyle Hamilton comparisons from Notre Dame, and understandably, I can see why. The size is there. This guy is just a playmaker. This guy is a natural safety. And they also have two very good corners coming in. Ohio State may have lost a few guys this year, but they're going to reload right away with the guys that are coming in this class. Now for the athletes and transfers, you have Kai Stokes. I don't know if he's going to play wide receiver or safety. I know he can play both positions. That's mainly what he did in high school. But he's going to be a big contributor to this team at some point. And then for the transfers, Tanner McAllister from Oklahoma State. I expect him to be a starter next year. He played in Jim Knowles' defense at Oklahoma State, and he was very good there. I expect him to do the same next year and kind of be a leader on that defense. Somebody that's familiar with the scheme. But kind of rounding out the class, I expect Ohio State to retake the Big Ten next year. I think they have a very great class coming in at #4 in the nation. They're going to have some day one contributors in there. I expect Ryan Day to lead them back to where they expect to be in the college football playoff. I expect them to be there sooner rather than later. And at the end of the day, Ohio State is going to continue to dominate the Big Ten